Bonjour à tous et bienvenue au 13h sur Canal 2 International. Henri Kédian, good day.
Yeah, good day, Junior Hussein. Thanks and welcome to join us on this bilingual edition of the news on Canal International. We begin with our top stories. Condemning inmate impersonate Director of Civil Cabinet scams African heads of state. The physically challenged inmate was presented to the press by the Judicial Police Department in Yaoundé.
78 conteneurs contenant entre autres des blindés et remorqueurs viennent d'être réceptionnés par le ministre délégué à la présidence chargé de la Défense, Betty Assomo. La cérémonie a eu lieu à la base aérienne 201 de Douala. On en parle dans ce 13h.
And lack of finances and rising insecurity pin down development projects in the southwest region of Cameroon. Development of these stories just right ahead. Thanks and welcome to journalists Kejang Henry, Atembe and Junior Hussein. You set the salvo with the visit of the Minister of Defense to Douala.
Effectivement, le ministre délégué à la présidence chargée de la Défense a présidé il y a une trentaine de minutes la cérémonie de réception, comme le voyez en image, la cérémonie de réception du matériel acquis par le gouvernement et destiné à son contingent déployé au sein de la mission multidimensionnelle intégrée des Nations Unies pour la stabilisation de la Centrafrique. La cérémonie a eu lieu à la base aérienne 201 de Douala, je vous le disais en titre. Il est question de 78 conteneurs comprenant entre autres des blindés et remorqueurs. Je vous propose d'écouter dans ce journal Joseph Betty Assomo, ministre délégué à la présidence chargée de la Défense, au micro d'Alain Ghislain Kanga et d'Henri Tinda.
Le lot de matériel que nous avons devant nous aujourd'hui est constitué de 78 conteneurs, 46 véhicules, dont 9 blindés, passions et 43 remorques. Il faut y ajouter 7 véhicules qui sont déjà sur le territoire camerounais et 14 remorques qui se trouvent déjà à Yaoundé. 5 conteneurs de matériel ainsi que 5 remorques destinés à l'instruction et déjà livrés au centre de formation et déploiement de Moutséboum, département du Oignon, région de l'Est. Comme vient de le signaler, il s'agit là d'une partie du matériel.
On passe à la note sur le Ramadan.
Justement, cette note qui porte sur le Ramadan, Commission nationale du croissant lunaire invite les musulmans du Cameroun en général et ses points focaux régionaux en particulier à structurer le ciel le mardi 11 mai, donc aujourd'hui, après le coucher du soleil pour décrypter le jour de la fête de fin de Ramadan. Si le croissant lunaire est observé au soir du mardi 11 mai, la fête de fin de Ramadan aura lieu, Inch'Allah, mercredi 12 mai 2021. Dans le cas contraire, le mois de Ramadan sera complété à 30 et la fête aura lieu jeudi 13 mai 2021. Conformément à la parole du prophète Mohammed selon laquelle « Jeûnez et rompez votre jeûne à la vue du croissant, s'il est voilé, complétez le compte jusqu'à 30. » Et après ce communiqué, Henri Kédian, on s'intéresse à un autre sujet dans ce journal.
Well, an inmate currently at the Yaoundé Konegi Central Prison has been arrested for impersonating the Director of Civil Cabinet and striking business deals with some African presidents and other top personalities. The physically challenged was presented to the press by the Judicial Police Department in Yaoundé. Details with our Yaoundé Bureau correspondent, Hyacinthe Chia.
He is a presumed high-profile scammer who used the name of the Director of Civil Cabinet, Samuel Mvondo Ayolo, to extort fabulous sums of money from high-ranking national and international personalities. After numerous calls and complaints from such authorities, the Director of Civil Cabinet ordered the Delegate General for National Security to track the culprits. And with the immediate search launched, the suspect was localized and, funny enough, an already sentenced prisoner.
We started our investigation by localizing the phone number, and we realized that the phone number is located at the prison central of Condé. We went there, and after search, we arrested the suspect named Eyafa Jack Calvin.
He calls presidents, ambassadors, directors of Popular Bank, high commissioners, chief executive officers of enterprises for business deals while in prison. How he gets their telephone numbers remains the unanswered question.
After the exploitation of his phone, we realized that the suspect has so many communication with several persons, like the president of Niger, the president of Mali.
While presenting the suspect to the press at the Delegation General for National Security in Yaoundé, police officials used the opportunity to call on the population to remain vigilant and denounce such acts from unscrupulous individuals to be fished out.
When you have the contact like with somebody like this to inform the police, you give the phone number to the police, and the police will do the rest.
Meantime, the accused will be presented to the State Council in the days ahead for the second process of justice concerning him to take its course.
And leaders of the Catholic, the Protestant and the Islamic faith have all received thousands of face masks to fight against the coronavirus pandemic during this festive season of Assumption and the Ramadan. They took turns along the corridors of the Ministry of Territorial Administration to receive their face mask, or the package rather, from the hands of the Minister, Paul Atanganji. Details with our Yaoundé Bureau Chief Correspondent, Beatrice Nkamu.
30,000 face masks for 3 religious communities here in Cameroon, inviting them to promote the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. Turns they took at the cabinet of the Minister of Territorial Administration Monday. First, the Archbishop of Yaoundé for the Catholic Church, receiving 10,000 face masks.
It's our duty in the church. The new strategies must be done now to help the community, to help the parish priest, to organize the community in the sense that people will be protected really when they come and pray. When you come to pray in the church, you don't come to die.
Then the delegation of the Council of Imams in Cameroon, the brief discussion with Minister Paul Atanganji, and donation of 10,000 face masks. This was followed by a prayer session.
We are going now to tell to the believers to respect those measures, wearing their masks, respecting the social distanciation between people. Every mosque must not contain many people. Everything must be respected.
Reverend Besala Bess represented the Council of Protestant Churches.
Before to enter in the church, you have to put your mask, you have to wash your hand, and the number is very limited. We don't remain a long time in the church. 1 hour is sufficient. We will continue to do it.
All are aware that the upcoming feast of Ramadan, like Ascension, are occasions for groupings and feastings, and so fertile ground for the COVID-19 pandemic, as they were told not to stop after the feast or the coronavirus, whose contamination stands at over 75,000, is eradicated here in Cameroon.
Well, thanks very much. Now, the ongoing security crisis rocking the southwest region remains a major challenge to local development. The reconstruction phase or projects launched by the Southwest Development Authority is still to take off from the ground as a result of the lack of finances and other factors. Ines Daniel Undwa reports from our Southwest Regional Bureau.
Improving on the living condition of the local population and the fight against poverty in rural areas are the main challenges faced by officials of the Southwest Development Authorities. At a time, the coronavirus pandemic plus the ongoing socio-political unrest are hitting the southwest region. Activities of SOCIETE has witnessed a drastic drop. Not all the 6 divisions of the southwest region are accessible due to the security crisis. The lack of finance is one of the major problems encountered by SOCIETE in achieving its goals.
After examining all the different financial statements, we realized that SOCIETE, in spite of the insecurity that reigns here, management did a lot of work because of the 2,294,000,000 that was budgeted for the year 2020. Management was able to realize 1,974,000,000, and so that takes it to an execution rate of about 86%.
The meeting in Boya seeks to evaluate activities carried out in 2020, but equally to brainstorm on possible ways of getting development projects financed by international bodies.
Also reflected on what management could do to source for financing, besides the subvention accounts from the state.
Despite the security and health crisis, the Southwest Development Authority has been able to carry out some developmental projects, notably the realization of some basic amenities such as the construction and rehabilitation of farm-to-market roads, construction of markets, supply of pipe-borne water, just to name a few.
Our Southwest Regional Bureau Chief Correspondent Ines Daniel Undwa Mbala. Now, inhabitants in Kribi in the Ocean Division of the South Region have expressed fears of consuming contaminated beef after rumors went wild across the town that these beef or that cows were infected with tuberculosis. The panic has caused a sharp drop on the sales of beef in the market. In the meantime, butchers have actually considered this as fake and misleading. Demoring.
The fear of a livestock disease in Kribi, the Ocean Division, for the past weeks has had a huge impact on sales of beef in markets and in slaughterhouses. Butchers have pushed the blame on fake rumors on cows reportedly infected with tuberculosis. Yet they are slaughtered and sold in the market. The scores of butchers have denied the allegations. We are experiencing what I will describe as drop in sale of beef. There is a fake rumor that some sick cows were slaughtered and are being sold in the market. It's not true. The butchers have described the drop in sales as drastic, claiming the rumors has had a grip on the population, with some no longer having appetite nor interest in consuming beef. So many customers are worried. Some keep asking questions on the credibility of cows slaughtered and the beef sold in markets. Even when they see stamps, they still question. The butchers have brandished documents that clearly indicate different procedures involved, that is, from the grazing grounds right up to the butcher's shop. When we receive a cow, the first thing we call on a veterinary doctor for examination and control. The cow is registered in the process. After examination by the veterinary doctor, the cow is taken to the slaughterhouse, and after slaughtering, most of the internal organs are examined by the same doctors. And when the cow is finally transported to the market, veterinary doctors still come in to check. All attempts to get the divisional delegates of fishery and animal husbandry react were futile. For now, the population wants authorities to react to the problem. Answers that will only go to reassure them to go for the protein food.
Of May is considered as the Health Vision Month dedicated for the eye, which is vulnerable to many threats. Now, Beatrice Ngamo takes us through the month and the mystery behind the Eye Vision Week. We're expecting Beatrice Ngamo with that report on the eye vision care, which the eye dedicated as, or rather the month of May dedicated as a month to take care of the eyes. In fact, there is a lot of mystery about this, as Beatrice Ngamo tells us.
On this board are 3 lines of alphabets to read. The right eye blocked along the way. The left eye reads all. This lady is undergoing a vision test.
After that, we proceed to examine the patient on the slit lamp to see if there is any pathology that is related to the eye defect. After that, we proceed with ophthalmoscopy, which is an exam that will look at the fundus of the eye to give a good diagnosis. We do tests for eyeglasses. If the person merits eyeglasses, we are going to prescribe. If the person has other things that does not relate to eyeglasses, we are going to refer to the ophthalmologist.
Optometry is a primary eye care specialty offered here at the National Optometry Center in Yaoundé.
We have certain things that we diagnose and treat with lenses like hypermetropia. We have myopia, we have astigmatism, and we have presbyopia. Conditions that will cause someone to see blur. The person might have a headache. The person might have a nervous around the corners of the head, even at the neck.
Optometry, ophthalmology. Who does what?
In ophthalmology, all eye diseases are diagnosed and treated. While in optometry, we do only visual tests, eye examination, we do diagnosis, we test for eyeglasses, we prescribe them. Any other thing we refer to the ophthalmologist.
The eye, we all know, is a delicate organ. Signs and symptoms might be too late. Optometry
saves your eyesight, because in moving from one place to the other, you might meet a wrong specialist, and the time you take to see many people before reaching the right person, you might have lost your sight. I will tell the community to come closer to the optometry center, where they are going to be consulted and oriented to the best person who is going to take care of their sight, so that you can prevent other complications.
This Health Vision Month, therefore, many have taken the opportunity to check for common eye problems, children like adults.
Well, thanks, Beatrice Ngamo. Users of the Yaoundé-Vundu route in the central region of the country are currently calling on the government to make sure they rehabilitate the road before they are cut off from the rest of the region. They made a call during a development meeting as they tried by themselves to rehabilitate these roads. Ambo Gladys Dibang reports.
These roads linking Yaoundé in the central region of Cameroon and the Talba and Vundu village markets is held to traders who regularly ply the road to transport goods. The development committee of this village, that has 19 neighborhoods and about 5,000 inhabitants, has to that effect taken the decision to fill potholes at Ngoke 1, a real quagmire that makes movement difficult for traders. Carrying out this community work because it is our locality, we cannot fold our arms and be cut off from other areas. Goods have to be transported and the health sector has to function. If we are cut off, we will have lots of difficulties. To improve the life of the population of this area, we decided to create development committees and vigilante groups in all the 19 quarters of this area. That was when the chief was enthroned. Businesses and households in Talba and Vundu villages are suffering as a result of these bad roads and have called on government to come to their aid. There are days we will leave home at 4 a.m. and arrive the markets at approximately 2 p.m., especially when it rains. At that hour, what do you sell? It is difficult. Government needs to come to our aid. We struggle and buy vehicles to facilitate our activities, but they get bad easily because the roads are rough. The mayor has been making failed promises to rehabilitate the road. Recently, it was Mardi that was here, but it has abandoned work. Government needs to step in and help out. With the rainy season, the population's only hope is on the National Civil Engineering Pole, Mardi, that is expected to resume work and bail them from the daily stress.
Oh, very unfortunate there. Well, the British High Commissioner to Cameroon, Christian Denis McClure, has saluted the process, or rather the priorities and sub-commissions of the new Cameroon Human Rights Commission that was set up recently. This was at the end of an audience granted him by the chairperson of the National Commission for Human Rights, James Mwange Kobila, Monday at the headquarters of the organization. The British diplomat spoke to our Yaoundé Bureau Chief Correspondent, Beatrice Ngamo, just after the audience.
The chairperson was very kind to explain to me the Commission's priorities, the new subcommittee they have to improve both protection, to promote human rights, and to look at ways in which detention is improved in Cameroon. As you know, human rights is close to the core values of the United Kingdom. It's a bit too early to say exactly in what forum we will collaborate with the Human Rights Commission, but I look forward to those discussions in the future.
Commissioner to Cameroon, Denise McLeod, talking there to our Yaoundé Bureau Chief Correspondent Beatrice Ngamo just after an audience granted him by the chairperson of the Human Rights Commission. You know, Hussein.
Et dans la suite du journal En Sport, l'entraîneur de l'équipe nationale de cyclisme, Dieudonné Ntep, décédé dans un accident de la circulation. La Fédération camerounaise de cyclisme a officialisé la nouvelle de sa disparition dans une brève note d'information dans la soirée du lundi 10 mai 2021. L'accident de la circulation serait survenu sur l'axe lourd Douala-Yaoundé. La nouvelle est tombée dans la soirée du lundi justement, comme un couperet, le regret dont ressenti, et bien sûr le peuple pleure ce grand sportif camerounais. Et bien sûr, pour terminer ce journal, Henri Kédian, 40 ans après la mort de l'artiste Bon Malé à 36 ans seulement, l'héritage de cette icône du reggae reste vivace, donc décédé le 11 mai 1981. Vous vous en souvenez, Henri Kédian, donc ce 11 mai 2021, le monde entier rend hommage à Bob Marley.
And of course, we say Happy Bob Marley's Day to all the fans of Bob Marley. With that, we come to the end of this news. I've been Kejang Henry Atimbe, and of course with Gino Hussein. We wish you a wonderful day ahead.
À très bientôt. Portez-vous bien.